Ghost Guy Daniel here. This time on Strange News, I got one I've been very excited for. I've been so excited that it's taken me longer than normal to record this, so figure that one out. So what I have for you this week is, would you buy one of these 10 haunted houses? Now, as you know, with Strange News segments, I do not read the article in advance. I want to be surprised at the same time that all of you are surprised. So let's just get started. Alrighty. So, would you buy one of these 10 haunted houses? Many horror movies like Amityville Horror are based on a true story. Not many people think, hey, I'd love to live there after watching it. I would be okay with it after watching it, but there are some that think it's a cool idea, which is why the remodeled home recently sold. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I remember when this happened. The Amityville house went up for sale. I think that's it there because they changed the iconic eyeball windows. Remember the windows that look like eyes? They changed those so to kind of confuse people. I actually visited. I drove past the house when I was in the New York area. It's on Long Island, and they even changed the numbers of the houses on the street, which I thought was spectacular. But I mean, no matter how much you try and change the windows, unless you actually change the roof and also the internet. Because people will talk. So it sold. It was beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful. It has a river running behind us. You could have a boat in your garage, which is pretty cool. Now, a survey by Realtor.com revealed that 33% out of 1,000 people said they would buy a haunted house without thinking twice. That is much higher than I thought. If you're one of those people who has entertained the idea, here are 10 haunted houses that have been or are currently on the market. I hope so. I hope currently. You may even recognize a few of these infamous home sweet homes from the big screen, such as the first one. Silence of the Lambs home is for sale. I'm going to open the images as well so we can both see, but I'll read first. In 1991 Oscar-winning movie Silence of the Lambs had many tongue-swallowing scenes, Jesus, including this Prince Anne home. I don't know why the author used that. Heather, why is you tongue-swallowing scenes? Inside the Princess Anne home. Situated on almost 2 acres and measuring 2,400 square feet with 4 bedrooms, that's nice, and 1 bath. 1 bath. It's a big house for one. It has beautiful craftsmanship throughout the home. It also boasts an in-ground pool and a vintage caboose used as a pool house. That is actually a good price. I wonder, is this article older? I can't scroll up too much. No, it's last year. Let's have a look. Oh, what happened? Okay, that's the inside of the house. Okay, that didn't help. Technical difficulties, everyone. So this is the inside of the house? Oh, there it is. It's a good price. I'd pay that. I thought the sign would say, it puts the lotion in the basket. Oh, this is a different house. Ignore that. It could be one of the upcoming ones. No spoilers. Lizzie Borden's house. I stayed at the Lizzie Borden house. I didn't know it was for sale. Doesn't say if it's currently for sale. But I got to stay there years ago, and I'll tell you, it was interesting. The thing that freaked me out the most, and I don't know if it's the same as anybody else who stayed there, but the furniture that they had were either original or perfect replicas of the furniture that was in the house when the murders occurred. So, like the infamous photo of the murdered father lying on the couch that they have in there, I don't remember if it was the original, but the couch that they had in there looks exactly like it. So you think, that spot that actually happened in the room I'm currently standing in, and I don't know, that kind of freaked me out, especially in a house where you're staying overnight. So anyway, this is the Fall River, Massachusetts house where she moved after her parents' death and stayed until her death in 1927. Yes, that was a weird thing, and her sister was there for a while too. She lived in the house after they died. After her trial, she was found not guilty, and she just moved back into the house where she, did the murders. I think she did. I can state that now. But I don't know. It's kind of, you got to think the mindset of somebody like that. It freaks me out. It's where she lived after being acquitted of the brutal axe murders of her father and stepmother. Almost 4,000 square feet, 7 bedrooms, 4 baths. That's a better balance right there, instead of like 4 bedrooms and 1 bath. Being sold fully furnished. What? So you can actually have it with the I'm telling you, I did not read ahead to that. I don't know if that makes me want to buy it more or less. I think the price is a bit high, considering the neighborhood. It is in an industrial area, and I remember it was surrounded like warehouses and stuff. It's not really a residential area. Looks different. Okay, I don't know what it's trying to show me, but I don't think this is the Lizzie Borden house. Here, let me look it up here. Lizzie Borden house. Ignore what you just saw there. Yeah, see, if you look at the house here, that's not it. I think their links are off. Anyway, that's the house. I will not show the photos of the murder. I'm just making sure they're not coming up in here, just in case. Some people might not like this. I didn't like seeing it, so I can understand other people not liking to see it. Yeah, that's not it. Gotcha. Busted. LA's Black Dahlia murder house. Los Angeles doctor George Hodel and his involvement in the brutal killing, mutilation and dismemberment of Elizabeth Short in the Black Dahlia murder. The house was crafted by Lloyd Wright and had a $2 million renovation that brought it back to its original splendor. It was recently on the market for $4.7 million. It's been a backdrop for many Hollywood movies, including and TV shows, including Ghost Hunters and Paranormal America. That doesn't count. You can't, claim the ghost shows. Of course they're going to go there. I mean, makes sense. Now I don't know. I can't trust these links now because they had the Lizzie Borden house incorrect. This doesn't make any sense. Is it? If it is, it's beautiful. I guess yeah. If it's a different type of architect, that makes sense. Interesting looking house. Would I live there for $4.7 million? No. I'd live there for $100,000. Would you accept $100,000? Number 4, the Gardet La Prietra haunted mansion. Known as the Sultan's house, the home has hosted the cream of New Orleans society from the beginning of its rich history. The story: one morning as neighbors were walking by the Sultan house, they saw blood trickling under the front door. They discovered that all the inhabitants had been murdered with swords and axes, and the Sultan was found brutalized and buried alive in the backyard. It was always felt that the murders were executed by his brother, the real Sultan, Oh, Jesus, story there. As retribution for the theft of his fortune and many of his wives. Okay, there's the story. A French Quarter-style home a block from Bourbon Street with 9 bedrooms and 10 baths. That's excessive. Recently on the market for $2.65 million. I think my hesitation here wouldn't be living in this house. Wow. My hesitation wouldn't be living in the Sultan's house. My hesitation would be living in New Orleans in general. I had actually had a slight connection. My previous life, I did IT. I was a network administrator, and I specialized in one specific piece of software, and they were looking for this in the United States. So at one point, I actually had the choice if I wanted to go down into the States, and there was a job in New Orleans. And I am a huge fan of the Anne Rice books, Vampire, Witches, whatever. So I was also a huge fan of New Orleans because of that, history and everything. But I said no, and just consider it was maybe 6-7 years before Hurricane Katrina hit. There's a good chance, since I was in IT for almost a decade, that I would have been down there. Oh, it's beautiful. I assume this is an artist's representation of the murder. Okay, I'm on to a new one already. Colorado ghost town. How about owning a ghost town? Sure. The railway brought many tourists through La Vida Pass to Uptop. It was a favorite stop for miners, railroad men, and lumberjacks. The bar, known for its unique curved bar, served prohibition liquor during a very lively poker game. Unfortunately for Uptop, the railroad left in the early 1900s, kind of like with Ruthven, which is where one of the locations we normally do our tours at. They lost the railway, or they never got it, and that's what killed the town. In the 1960s, the new highway system bypassed Uptop, making it a ghost town that was recently restored by two sisters. In 2014, the entire town was for sale for $2 million. Do you want to, buy? This would be great promotion for the videos and the podcast. I'll buy it. I'll call it Ghost Guy Danielville, and people will take notice. You see, strategies. It included the train depot Dan Hall. It's meant to be. I was like, oh, yeah. Anyway, Dan Hall Saloon and Chap. I got to know the history of that off camera. I'm not going to bore you with it. In other words, many places for spirits to roam. Is that the one? Yeah. Okay. Is that one of the buildings? There's the curved bar. Is that Dan Hall? I don't know. I don't want it named after me. Ghost Guy Dan Hall? No. I'd knock it down. I'm kidding. It's historic. I would never. Number 6. The Arizona Boulder people. With an exclamation mark, so it must be really important. A Stonehenge-type phenomenon occurs on both the spring and fall equinoxes. A 6-inch wide beam of light that starts in the glass between two boulders and slowly works its way across the floor and up the wall to a 36-inch spiral petroglyph. When the sun hits its mark, the stone projections light up like diamonds. Is it a freak of nature? Does it mean anything? It's believed to have started over 1,000 years ago when the Boulder people first started living there. The Boulder house sits on 9 acres at 4,300 square feet. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a great room with a massive fireplace that recently sold for $4.2 million. Oh my goodness, is that... Well, it really is built around the rock. That's pretty cool. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Would you feel comfortable living in a place like this? I it would be like you lived in a cave. What is that? Is that an opening to the outside? That, or probably it's probably covered with glass or plexiglass or something. Oh, there's the light shining in. Beautiful. Okay, we're on to the next one. Tell me in the comments if you would live in a house like that. To be honest, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to. I guess I don't have any connection to our ancestors, the cave people. I'd rather be in a nice, comfy house. Comes with a lantern right there. Number 7, Thousand Islands Haunted Mansion. Well, that's not too far from here. It's near Kingston. When the home was built in 1895 for Carlton Manor, the president of Remington Arms and Typewriter Company, it became one of the grandest structures in all of New York. So that's New York State. It sits on an island of 6.9 acres and is surrounded by 1,000 feet of waterfront. Must be nice. Today it is a mere shell in need of lots of TLC, selling for $500,000 to a buyer who was willing to make this piece of history a grand restoration project. I know some people in my own home city who would be very good at that. Oh, that was the house we saw earlier. My goodness. Ooh. Oh, geez. TLC. That is an understatement. I am not a handy person in any sense. I told you I had a computer background. We're usually not very handy. But I think somebody who is even handy would have a look at this project and probably state that. And again, I'm not like, I want this history to be saved, at least the facade, and then you can gut it and just do everything from scratch. But this is at one of those points where I would not think that it could be saved for a decent amount. I mean, you would have to probably spend more than the house or the land is worth. It's beautiful, though. I love the design. It really has that haunted mansion feel to it. Okay, almost there. The number 8, Haunted Magnolia Mansion. I think I've heard of this one. Magnolia Mansion's multiple ghosts are allegedly friendly. That's nice. With a sense of humor. There's like stand-up comedians. There are reports of a ghostly maid who will tuck you in at night, a child who walks the halls, and a bearded man who spends his time downstairs. It's so random. It sounds a little bit like Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. It's like there's so many different ghosts living their own lives in each of the rooms. A Greek revival mansion boasts over 13,000 square feet. Wow. 13 bedrooms. Most recently up for sale for $3.2 million. It doesn't say offhand where it is. Again, I'm not going to bore you with looking that up. We're really not focused on locations. It kind of has that New Orleans feel to it. I like that. Very pretty. Oh my goodness. Imagine you're sleeping right here. This fellow is like watching you intently. I'd be fine with that, but some people might not. Oh, back to that. All right. 9. Okay, there we go. That was the one that kind of kicked everything off. The New York home from several versions of the movie Amityville Horror have been created about the horrifying true story that took place inside the home. So in 1974, Ronnie DeFeo got up in the middle of the night and brutally murdered his parents and 4 siblings with a rifle while they slept. The home was occupied a year later by the Lutz family, who were forced to leave because of rampant paranormal activity. 5,000 square feet, Ocean Avenue in Amityville, Long Island. Remodeled in 2016. That's when they probably changed the iconic windows, and sold for $605,000 in 2017. Do you think you live here now? Yes. The answer is 100% yes. The dark history of it with Ronnie DeFeo is 100% true. What happened with the Lutz family is what's up for debate. I've done some personal research into that, and of course the investigation done by Ed and Lorraine Warren, which hasn't been featured in a Conjuring movie yet, for the sole fact that it's been done to death in all the Amityville movies. Although I don't remember, correct me if I'm wrong, the original Amityville movies didn't have them in it as investigators. I think they were focusing more on the Lutz family's experience, which some of that has been disproven. I don't know. Yeah, so you can see they changed the iconic windows. They just have one window instead of the two eyeball ones. So that's the front technically, but the front faces off to the side, and then I can't point at the screen. I can use my icon. Off this side, I believe, is what leads into the backyard. So I don't know. It kind of doesn't fit the movies. I think that's like a movie mistake or inconsistency. Yeah. So there's the river in the back. So you could have a boat. There used to be a garage. I don't know if there's still a garage where you put your boat in. But if you remember from the movie, in the movie they actually recreated the house. They didn't use the actual house. They recreated a similar one in New Jersey, and that's where they filmed the movies. There's no pictures on the inside, though. If you look it up, they're probably still online. You can actually get photos from the inside from the real estate pages. I saw them. It's beautiful. Number 10, world's biggest ghost house. The A.B. Widener family built the 102-room Linwood Hall in Pennsylvania. When Widener invested with J.P. Morgan in the White Star Line, little did he know that his son and grandson would die on the maiden voyage of its flagship. Oh my goodness. So I was a little confused at White Star Line, and then I guess they only made one boat. I'm going to hope they only made one boat. A.B. Widener died in his grand mansion 3 years after the sinking, consumed by guilt and grief. That sucks. The word is that 3 Widener ghosts are still its caretakers, and its legacy continues to be the world's biggest abandoned ghost house. Even bigger than the Winchester Mystery Mansion, I wonder. I'll have to do a comparison one day. Linwood Hall was listed at $20 million in 2014 and dropped to 16. That is what I like to call a ghost discount. I think sometimes history and ghost stories can work against it. Okay, yeah. I thought that was a train station when it first came up. This is bigger than the Winchester Mystery House. I don't even need to look it up. Wow. Could use work. It's needs help. I love the designs though. Wow. Again, I mean, I come back to like that cave house. I find these big houses. I just started watching The Crown on Netflix. Love it. Don't judge me. I absolutely love it. And I saw they I don't know if they actually filmed in Buckingham Palace, but they showed how it was, and they were going to move there. And I'm not going to do any spoilers, don't worry. But I looked at the size of the rooms. It was kind of like this, right? Where if you talk, your voice is going to echo. And I don't find that cozy at all. I couldn't live in a house like that. I don't care what the ghost story is. It has nothing to do with the ghosts. Oh, that's the last picture. But these sprawling rooms and hallways and stuff, I would never feel comfortable in a place like that. So the answer for that one would be no, even though they didn't ask me. So if you had cash, could you call a haunted house a home? Maybe one of these can fulfill your dream. This is on the WWL. This is a radio station out of wherever. News, talk, and sports. If you want to look any of this up, again, I highly recommend looking up the inside pictures of Amityville. Oh, I just realized they all have exclamation marks. Now I know why it's so exciting. Amityville Horror House, look up the other photos. I would not live in the Boulder house. I would live in all of these other houses. Maybe not the Lizzie Borden house, depending. Definitely the Silence of the Lambs house. Where do they film the basement scene? Like, I want to know where there's like a well. I wouldn't put anybody down in a well. I can't believe I actually have to state that. I would just want to be able to, like, if people would come over, this is the tour guide of me coming out. If people would come over, I would want to show them that, tell them the story of Buffalo Bill. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Listen to the podcast, Ghost Guy Daniel. I just posted this week's, which is about my personal experience staying in haunted hotels and bed and breakfasts. You can get that. Just do search for Ghost Guy Daniel. I'm sure it will pop up. Thanks for watching.